That's what I call blast, literally. Guys, we're going to be taking a look at my brand new, or at least new to me, Benelli SuperNova Tactical. I'm very excited to showcase to you guys, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. Take a deep dive. Alright guys, we got our eyes and ears off, so take a better look at my new, to me, Benelli SuperNova Tactical. Now this is not a new offering by Benelli by no means. These have been out for several years, but it's took me this long to get my hands on one. I've always been intrigued and interested by them, and they've always been kind of just an overlooked pump gun in my opinion. If you don't know, Benelli's been more known or renowned for their automatic shotgun lines, such as their M4 or M1014 used by the United States Marine Corps, as well as their M2 Super 90 and M3 tactical shotguns, which is the pump or auto version. And the Novas has kind of gotten overlooked, you know. These are a very excellent, in my opinion, quality shotgun for what you get. They are certainly within a budget range. You can find these with sub 500 bucks on the used market. I think they're around 550 new. And they're just a very quality budget offering from Benelli. Like I said, this is one of their pump guns, so like I said, nothing but quality from Benelli. And they're rather interesting. They got a lot of different neat features. This is a tactical model. They do offer more of a sportsman model with longer 30-inch barrels, 28-inch barrels, vent rib, camouflage, all the different stuff. This is more indicative of their tactical lineup, a tactical combat shotgun or LE shotgun. They do have an LE series shotguns that are separate from the actual civilian tactical, or I'm sorry, civilian tactical Novas. That's a little bit different that we'll go into. My particular model has the pistol grip stock that is has a long length of pull. You can also get these in regular shotgun stock or an M1014 law enforcement stock or M4 Benelli collapsible stock like you see on the M4 Benelli. This one does have rifle sights, which is very helpful in law enforcement if you need to fire slugs or something less lethal and you get a more precise shot like you were seeing on our pineapple earlier. That's very helpful. My particular model did come with this Mesa side saddle that has a pick rail up top, which I've been trying out and I really like. I didn't buy that on my own, it come with it, and it's a great addition to have shells on board and also be able to mount an optic on top if you would like. The controls are very easy to get to, and you can see you hit your latch, kind of just launches back at you, and you got this big robust forearm you can grab hold of and really get in there and rack your pump. Very handy and robust. The trigger guard is wide. You can get a kind of a winter trigger in there if you need to, or winter mitten, or it is enlarged for you just to be able to get in there a little bit easier. This model, like I said, does feature an 18-inch barrel, 18.5, and has the flush plug or with a 5-shot tube. Now the LE models, you can get them with extended tube from Benelli, but you can only get those if you are law enforcement. The Carlson does make a aftermarket tube extension that's +2 that will give you 7 shots, which is very interesting and very neat. If you notice, looking at the shotgun, it looks kind of rather cheap, and I know it looks cheap, but it's definitely not, and that's because this is completely encased in polymer. Yeah. This is a steel receiver, or a more of a kind of stamped sheet metal receiver encased in polymer, and that makes for a very lightweight package, and also makes it very corrosion resistant. So if you're a patrolman and this is in your cruiser, you don't have to worry about it getting rusty on you, and just have to wipe down your barrel every once in a while, keep it from getting corroded. Or if you're out in the weather and the rain, you ain't gonna have to worry about your action getting, you know, all kind of rusty. It's a polymer, and you can just, anything that gets any kind of grime on it just wipes right off. And that is especially important for sportsmen. And I think that's this is very interesting for a lot of sportsmen to use, and very appealing to a lot of sportsmen, is that because of that polymer coated receiver and because of that durability, you can get this on all kinds of weather, duck hunting, or whatever kind of hunting you may do that requires a shotgun. You know your gun's going to be able to handle it. You can see underneath here our spoon. It's just a big silver spoon, lays down to be able to put your shells into. And we done talked about our magazine ejection. If you notice, you see a button here. This is very important, and one thing I really like about the Benelli Novas, and it's really a selling factor for me. And I think mainly this is marketed in a tactical aspect, but I did see a post on Reddit we'll talk about. But in this case, if you're a LE officer and you have some buckshot load in the tube and you want to go less lethal, you can simply work your pump back, hit this button on the side, eject your shell, load whatever you want in there, a slug or a less lethal rubber round, close your action, fire your shell, and do it again. So if you don't know, on an 870 or like a Mossberg, if you want to do that, your elevator is going to immediately, or I'm sorry, your mag tube is going to go automatically eject that shell into your elevator, and you're going to have a shell stuck in between here. You're not going to be able to just simply throw a shell into the chamber and load what you need in that situation. It's very, very interesting. I'll go ahead and kind of demonstrate it now for those that are watching. We have some standard buckshot. I'll go ahead and load in the tube. And let's just say that we have a slug that is on board and we're wanting to transition, and we might see in our instance here in Kentucky, a black bear or some kind of predator. Well, old grizzly bear might not need a buckshot, but we can simply hit our action release, hit our button here underneath, eject our shell, and we see we're not picking up from the magazine tube. We can simply grab from our side saddle or slug, load, and there we go. Very, very interesting in my opinion, and a very, very cool feature on these shotguns. I really, really like, and it's very different on anything on the market that I've seen personally. Another person on Reddit in the forums had told a couple other people that have been talking about these that this is good for, like, if you're going to cross fences, if you're going to go across a fence and you have one in the chamber, if you're deer or hunting or something, hit that button, eject your shell, work it back, go over the fence, and then load your shell back. So that's one thing it could be used for. There's a lot of different scenarios that you could use that for, but in my opinion, that is definitely a tactical feature more so than anything else. One thing I didn't get to mention on these is that these are chambered for 2 3/4, 3 inch, and 3 1/2 inch, so it feeds all different types of 12 gauge food, which is awesome. You don't have to worry about just using one kind. You can use all your 12 gauge varieties and eat them. Whether it's light on your shoulder or not, it's a different story, but it will eat all the 12 gauge ammo. And being a pump, you know it's going to be reliable no matter what you put in it, whether it be less lethal, bucks, slugs, wherever. Now, one more feature I really, really like on this gun before we load some ammo and test out some more targets downrange is these shotguns do come equipped with a chrome line bore, and I love that. If you don't know, I love chrome line barrels on my AR-15s or any gun that I'm going to be consider using in a tactical or any kind of practical use. I really, really enjoy that chrome line bore. It ensures that the corrosion resistance is there, the durability is there, and ease of cleaning is there. It's just a big, big benefit by using a chrome bore, especially with shotgun ammo, which can get fouled up and pretty dirty rather quickly. But I think that's pretty much it on this Benelli SuperNova. Very much just a plain tactical combat shotgun, and as you've seen earlier, I'm ready to go ahead and throw some more lead down range and showcase you guys. So let's go ahead and load up some shells and try some more targets. Alright, it seems that we've fired downrange a posse of generic soda wanting to give us diabetes, and that is just not going to ride. I've got some of this Nebel law enforcement buckshot loaded up. This is 27 pellet number 4 buck and to regular 2 3/4. And about halfway through, we're going to try out our little mag button, and we got some slugs that are PMC 1 ounce slugs loaded on our side saddle. So I'm going to kind of showcase you guys how that button works on that that pineapple down there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and make these guys disperse. See, we can eject our shell, load it in our side saddle. Now this would be faster with training. Like I said, this takes just a minute where I'm kind of new with the shotgun, fumbling my shell around. Load our slug. Blew the top of them off. I think you got the idea. And we have our buckshot underneath. He's still standing, so I think he needs a slug to finish him off. Yeah, I'd say that done it. So much fun, guys. Alright guys, we have some more of our soda down there that needs to be dispersed. I've got my shotgun back loaded up, and let's see what we can do on these guys. I'm brutalizing myself and tenderizing my shoulder for you guys' entertainment, because these are not light loads, and I kind of want to get a more realistic approach on this. Now I will say, shooting the few rounds I have out of it, if you're recoil sensitive, this is not the gun for you. This is extremely lightweight, and it does not absorb those really high-powered shotgun shells well. For what little you would fire, it's probably fine, but this recoil pad is not necessarily the most softest, so it's pretty brutal on recoil, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and finish off our soda jugs. And I want to use a slug on that remaining pineapple, and here we can see this is demonstrated again. We got our action lock back, hit our button here underneath, eject our shell, and I'm going to put that in my pocket because this shell holder does not work very well. And I'm going to throw in a 1 ounce slug, and we're going to take care of the remainder of that pineapple down there. Oh yeah, that's so much fun. But you know what else is fun? Shooting a coconut. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you shot a coconut with a 1 ounce slug? No? Well, me neither, but it sounded fun. Guys, shooting that's too much fun. And for the snowflakes in the comments that say I'm wasting, I'm actually giving back to the environment. So eat that. Alright guys, decided to move on to a little bit more appropriate test and more practical. I got a piece of cardboard laid out there, approximately 20-25 yards, more than appropriate shotgun distance. I got my Benelli Nova loaded up with 2 1 ounce slugs, see how they stack them in there, as well as our newbie, I believe, our law enforcement 2 3/4 number 4 buck, as well as some wolf 9 pellet number 4 buck, I believe. So we're going to try to see how it patterns with buckshot. I didn't bring any birdshot today because, let's be honest, this tactical shotgun is really made to be run with buckshot, slugs, and less lethal. But you know, he might need to use some birdshot every once in a while. So let's go ahead and use our 1 ounce slugs and see how they hit. And if I load them. Okay, they look a little high. Let's go ahead and try out our wolf. And this side saddle I'm not a huge fan of. It's kind of weird. It's got a piece of rubber. It runs right through all the shell slots, and some of them's poked out a little bit. It makes it a little bit more difficult for the shells to go in and out of. So I'm not a huge fan, but overall does its job. Let's go ahead and try out our wolf. Okay, pretty good. And let's do our last 3 rounds of our 2 3/4 number 4 buck of our newbie, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Let's go ahead and try it out. That stuff is loaded significantly harder than the wolf is, but that's to be expected. The wolf ammunition is usually pretty light loaded. That stuff's pretty hot. Let's go ahead and go down range and see our target. Okay guys, we're here at our target. I must say it smells pretty good over here with all the pineapple and the soda. And anyway, here's our target. I'm in dead center here, this little kind of patch. We see here's 2 slugs hit relatively close. And our overall spread is about to be expected with buckshot. You have some flyers up here and down here. That's to be expected. Overall, not too bad. Our overall pattern is right in this area with a few stringers. So pretty good grouping. Like I said, this is a combat shotgun. It's not meant to be accurate, just meant to be point shoot or a tactical shotgun. Alright guys, well, I think that concludes our test. Now let's get back and conclude the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did, enjoyed making it. Taking a look at my new to me Benelli SuperNova Tactical. Some key notes I took away from shooting this shotgun, the 30 or so rounds we did with slugs and buckshot, is this gun is extremely heavy on the recoil. If you're a very recoil sensitive person, this is probably not the shotgun for you. It's not as smooth as, let's say, a Remington 870 or Mossberg 590A1, but it's not too bad. This gun's really marketed for carrying long treks through the woods on their hunting versions, their 30-inch barrel, vent rib, all different models they make of that. And as far as law enforcement tactical side, this gun's probably meant to be carried more than it's shot. Well, it's polymer construction, making it very lightweight. Now, needless to say, it is very durable. It's very strong. As you see, we didn't have a malfunction shooting here today, and I suspect that's going to be the case as long as I own this gun and shooting it. It's very strong and robust. Just because of its lightweight construction, it is a little bit more on the recoil side. So if you are kind of sensitive to recoil, probably not the best option for you if you're planning on giving this to someone of shorter, not a strong stature. Probably not a super good idea, but overall it's a very quality firearm, and I very enjoyed it. I mean, it's to be expected with Benelli, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun trying this out, and I really enjoyed this. I've always wanted to get my hands on one and play with it, and don't make any sick jokes in the comments. But anyway, I've always wanted to get my hands on one of these shotguns and try it, and I really enjoyed this one, guys. I had a lot of fun with this, making this video. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. It really helps what I do to fund projects like this and targets like you see to be able to provide educational and entertaining content to you guys. It's the main goal on the channel. Also, stay tuned for a lot more content we got coming down the pipeline. Have a lot of cool things sent to us by awesome manufacturers. So we're going to take a look at some very cool stuff, guys. So stay tuned for that. And as always, God bless.